since growing up, I am not the one that is not lucky enough to have a lot of money, but I'm still pretty happy my parents managed to raise me well, and I still managed to graduate and being able to uh, move into New Zealand and work. And yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about my financial or personal finance, or yeah, just basically what I didn't knew before. And yeah, I just basically knew that save a lot of money and basically make money and save money and spend less than money than you make. So gonna talk about my struggles with money, or and yeah, make it to the journey of financial freedom and make a ton of money, or not really. I'm not the one that you have to watch about it. What everyone should be doing with their money. So number one on my list is to pay all of your debts. So then back then, with a lot of money, I didn't know get a credit card, and it's you'll never know that you're already accumulating a lot of debt, and when you realize you're already on a rabbit hole of having hard time to pay that stuff. So yeah, that is not really good because you actually spend more than what you actually have. And yeah, I wish I have known that better. I also realized that having a credit card tend to spend more money than I'm actually using my app pos, which is cash money here in New Zealand. So yeah, get all into the wrap up of 36 months interest free, whatever personal loan or whatever, because that is one of the most highest interest rates here in New Zealand, and also the car loan and stuff. And yeah, we pay all of our debts. And I also read Dave Ramsey's book, and yeah, his approach to money. And basically, I don't actually agree to all of it, but it makes sense to pay all our debt first, then build a $1,000 whatever emergency fund. And it's a lot of baby steps that he's actually on his book. And yeah, it's one of the helpful realization on my life. And yeah, it helps a lot in with myself. So number two things that you should do with your money is build a emergency plan, like 3 to 6 months. Having those emergency plans when you lost your job. You'll never know. Your job can be replaceable or by anyone, or with this time of the year, it's like pandemic season, and you're not really sure if how long the company will actually have you, or whatever. It shit happens, and having emergency plan is can be helpful for everyone, and everyone should be having at least 3 months of savings for you to use if something's happened. And it's one of the best thing to think about. So another thing that you should think about is pay yourself first. By saying paying yourself is like having yourself a retirement fund, like something to put aside when actually for your retirement. And having that said, you really have to not touch it. And yeah, I think this one that I would struggle most is when I see money in my bank account, and yeah, I tend to spend it. So maybe put it somewhere on whatever investment portfolio you're doing. Like especially here in New Zealand, you have Hatch and Shareseas, and something to put money aside. Like put something percentage that you actually wanted to save, when the retirement comes up. So another thing to think about is uh, putting money on your Kiwisaver. In this is another thing here in New Zealand. You can put some, well, you can decide how many percent you wanted to put money in, like 3%. I'm actually putting 4% from my share in my wage, and actually the company's sharing about 3%. Not too bad. At least company's putting something from it. It's like it's a win-win. It's actually better in Australia, because in Australia companies are putting up about 10%. I'm not really sure about it. Maybe do your research first. And yeah, it's quite good to consider moving to Australia in the future as well. Actually planning to buy your first home in New Zealand. I highly recommend putting up your percentage of sharing for this, because you could actually withdraw a lot of money and when you're buying your first home. And it's something to think about as well. And yeah, we actually thinking to do that, and it's pretty good idea to do. And if you already have your home and you're not interested in buying home in New Zealand, and maybe something to think about, because you also consider about you're losing, well, you might get into debt, and you don't have to force yourself putting a lot of percentage of your salary into it. And just think about how much you're gonna put into the Kiwisaver fund. So as an adult, or having a daughter myself, we're also putting money on her savings, well, investment. We have her bank account for her own money, and also for her college fund. And something for university is kind of one of the expensive thing, so planning up early for that, it will gonna help her to build her dream future or whatever. I mean, it's one of those things that you need to plan ahead. So another thing to think about is investment. It could be a home, it could be whatever you could think of. It could be a property, ETF, bonds, or stock market. And at least your money is working, and you actually have to do your research before you put your money into make sure you know what's happening. And I am personally putting a bit of money on the ETFs as well, just to get a little bit of returns, rather than slipping it into the bank, which is you rarely get 1% from your whatever bank provider you have. And this is one of the things that you have to really consider. Actually, the more great returns, the higher the returns you wanted, the more riskier your money could lose. So yeah, I'm not really good at investing in stocks, so I just choose to invest in ETFs or S&P 500. Makes my life more easier, and just chuck money in there and forget about it, and hope for the best. Put your money is the fun stuff, or travel money and whatever you enjoy most, and something that you're excited to do. And I think that's pretty much it. And what else you could also do with your money? Well, think about the giving away money, but in a way that is really often with you, whatever. Actually, with all that being said, financial freedom has always been the goal. It's actually not so taboo to talk about the money, and this is something that you should be also talking with your families and maybe sharing, educate them with money, and that's about it. And if you found this video helpful, maybe consider subscribing and liking this video, and put some comments below if I missed something that you should be doing with your money. And please don't consider this as a financial advice. Please do your own research before you act on something that I talk about. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one.